And speaking about the legacy of the late pontiff is one we here in NTA will continue to talk about. And to do us the honors, we have Very Reverend Father Patrick Alumuko. He's a parish priest of St. Louis Catholic Church here in Abuja, and also Director, Catholic Television, Nigeria. Thank you very much for joining us, Very Reverend Father.
It's a pleasure.
Happy Easter. We didn't forget that.
Happy Easter to you too.
All right, well, it's that time, for the Catholic community worldwide, going by the passing of Pope Francis. And just yesterday, we saw him, at St. Peter's Square, bidding and saying Happy Easter to thousands of worshippers. What does this say to you personally, before you tell us about how the world takes it?
I think this is one of the realities of life. We were quite happy to see him yesterday out there in St. Peter's Basilica, an area that is very well known to me. I had worked there for about 13 years or thereabouts. And those words he put out were words I used to translate when I worked at Vatican Radio. Cari sorelle fratelli, brothers and sisters, happy Easter to you, he said. He couldn't speak much, but he got a big round of applause because no one expected him even to be out there. And we had hoped that he would live much longer. We had hoped he would eventually recuperate and get back to his seat. But what a surprise we have now. This morning, a pope who was in a wheelchair for years, we had here in Abuja today the David Osunde Foundation, whose pictures appear on your screen. He has for 33 years now held an annual event for people with disabilities. And that picture is a very strong picture for us because he sat down next to the Pope, who was in a wheelchair. Today, here in Abuja, David Osunde Foundation was giving about 100 wheelchairs to other people. It's a sad day for us indeed, and for the world. A Pope who loved people, who loved the poor. In his appointments of bishops who became cardinals, most of them he appointed from very poor cities, towns. Here in Nigeria, he appointed a bishop in Ekulobia who became a cardinal. This is the kind of people he used to love, people who work hard for the poor and the rural people.
Okay, Father, and of course such a humble and selfless being, you will say, talking about the late pontiff. But the coincidence, the late Pope John Paul II, who passed on the vigil of Divine Mercy, leading to Easter, and now we're seeing Pope Francis passed on Easter Monday. What does this say, really?
Well, at a very personal level, I think that this associates these very holy people with Jesus Christ himself. His death, his resurrection at Easter is a very special moment for every believer. So to have called his own sons, his own popes at this particular time, just shows how close they are to him. I think that, as they said of Pope John Paul II, when he died in the square, they were singing Santo Subito, meaning let him be canonized a saint immediately. I think many will sing that same song for Pope Francis.
Indeed. So, talking about his legacy, I see he touched a very significant part for the foundation you mentioned here in Nigeria, and I'm sure we've seen rather the lives he touched and the legacy he left behind. I just wanted to speak briefly on that.
Yeah, well, he cared for people who were poor, people who were humble, and he was very close to the bishops of the church in Nigeria, and who, when they met during the ad limina, was very concerned about the situation in Nigeria. He also expressed a lot of solidarity to the suffering peoples of Nigeria, especially the many priests in Nigeria who had been kidnapped while he was Pope, and many of those who had received unjust treatments in the hands of bandits and all that. And he called for unity, understanding between people of this country. So he was very close to our nation indeed.
Okay. Thank you very much, Very Reverend Father Patrick Alomuko, Director, Catholic Television of Nigeria. Thank you. And I hear there's a 9 days mourning following the demise of the Pope.
That's right, before the burial.
All right.
And in 2-3 weeks' time, we should have a new Pope in 20 days, or highest 20 days, we should have a Pope.
By His grace.
Yes, and we have, remember, we have a Cardinal here who will participate in the conclave. Cardinal John Onaikan will be right inside there representing Nigeria in the election of that new Pope.
All right. Thank you very much, Father. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.